Hello, my name is Nick Nightmare. I want to ask you guys one question tonight. Who thinks Monday Night Raw sucked? Because I certainly do. It's got a lot more to do with just Bobby Lashley. No, I know I was really the first person on YouTube to say his name and call him Bobby Trashley. But that don't really matter now, does it? I don't really give a shit about that. I give about as much of a shit about that as the Raw creative team gives a shit about Monday Night Raw. Elias had a point tonight when he said Bobby Lashley sucks, but he left a lot of people out. A lot of people off that list. And we're gonna make it right. And we're gonna do that right here and right now on your new favorite wrestling show. My name is Nick Nightmare, and this is the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. You know, I truly, for the first time in my whole entire life, wish that I was not a fucking wrestling fan. I wish that I didn't have to watch Monday Night Raw. And I guess for the most part you could say, nah, Nick, you didn't have to watch the show, right? But, you know, I've been watching wrestling for 40 years. I'm going to watch Monday Night Raw like a fool every single week when I do this review for you guys and I wrap up and I'm sitting there doing all my tags and my YouTube and my this and that and I'm trying to get it all set up. I foolishly think that maybe this is the last time I'm going to record a negative Monday Night Raw review. That's a foolish thing. That's a fool's hope. It's a stupid thing for me to do. As stupid as every single minute of tonight's Monday Night Raw. I don't understand how it gets worse. I'm tired of even saying that. I say that all the time. Oh, this week's the worst Raw of the year. We say it every week. But this week may be the truest to that statement it has ever been before. I'm so pissed off about Monday Night Raw that I forgot to even change our card, our little background card. This is from the SmackDown Live review. Alright, Monday Night Raw is so bad I couldn't even think of anything to write on a card. I wanted to get on this so quickly because there is no excuse for the quality of the show tonight. What the fuck was this show? What was this show if not a Monday Night Raw greatest hits? Only the theme of this greatest hits album is all of the worst shit they've ever done. They even wanted to make mention of one of the worst segments of all time tonight. And then they delivered to follow up on that segment by giving us another one of the most meaningless, most senseless segments in Monday Night Raw history with this open forum bullshit for Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Alexa Bliss. They're so worried about getting Alexa Bliss on TV, we're having bullshit open forums. Bullshit open forums. I wish to God that I was one of the people in the crowd in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on this night, and they gave me a live fucking microphone to ask these broads the one most important question, which is, what the hell are you guys doing on this show? Why do you work for this company, and why have you not asked for your release just yet? And I'm not referencing Alexa Bliss in that moment. I'm talking directly to the legit boss and Bayley. If this is the best you've got for these two girls, and on the same night, I gotta watch fucking Alicia Fox wrestle in the ring, or attempt to wrestle in the ring, and do a very poor job at it, and in the process, take one of the hottest prospects in all of women's wrestling, and absolutely waste her, by doing this whole entire match to begin with Alicia Fox, as a tie-in to the Mixed Match Challenge, which is an even bigger mess, if you could believe that, than Monday Night Raw. It's unforgivable. It is an atrocity. This show was an abomination. This is worse than any description that you could even come up with. I don't think there is a word, no matter what language you speak, if you speak in German, if you could speak Jewish, if you could speak any separate language you could think of. I'm so angry I can't even think of fucking languages. Spanish, Italian, French. Jesus, I gotta get my brain working again. It doesn't matter. You don't have the proper word in my language, in your language, to describe just how fucking retarded this show was. Just how much of a shit show this actually was. Repeat segment after repeat segment on top of bullshit. Bullshit. The women's division is a mess. The tag team division is even worse. You got Drake Maverick once again turning the tag team division into one giant running on piss joke. I wish he would have found the fucking script for tonight's Monday Night Raw before the show went live and pissed all over that. Find the one and only copy, burn any of the other copies that you find, take the one copy, go stand in front of Vince McMahon, take out your hobbit-sized fucking pecker, put on Bobby Roode's glorious robe, and take a piss right on tonight's Monday Night fucking Raw script, right in front of the old man, and say, yeah, I'm not a midget, I'm Drake Maverick, I'm awesome, I'm pissing on your script. And then Vince, ha! What? What are you doing, you little tiny fool? Who let Hornswoggle back in the building? Somebody get me somebody to fire. This show is fucking ridiculous. It's not even fair for me to try to make anything amusing out of it because they just put me nearly into a coma for the past 3 hours tonight. What did you see tonight that made you excited? There was one tiny thing going into Monday Night Raw tonight that I said, oh, this might be interesting. Seth Rollins, now that he's away from Roman Reigns and apparently Dean Ambrose has got something better to do, he wants to get needles stuck in his ass. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Seth Rollins got nothing to do tonight. He's going to lay out an open challenge. And what do they do? What do they do? They do even worse than what's predictable. So many people online, oh, I knew it was going to be Dolph Ziggler. I didn't know it was going to be Dolph Ziggler. We didn't see Dolph Ziggler last week at all. We didn't see the Blowout King. But we've seen him tonight, and we've seen him in the one segment we probably didn't want to see him in the most because we've seen him wrestle Seth Rollins how many times since the summer? It's almost been a weekly occurrence. The open challenge is a lazy bullshit way for creative to just give you guys something that you think is going to be exciting, even though it's just phoning it in at the very least. It's absolutely bullshit. Bullshit. You have a litany of talent in the back that you could have called on to answer this challenge, but you chose to go with a match that we've seen 17,000 times this year already. A match nobody wants to see again. And if I'm being honest, who the hell gives a shit about Dolph Ziggler anymore? Drew McIntyre doesn't even give a shit about Dolph Ziggler anymore. Drew McIntyre's off doing his own fucking thing. Or you would think he's doing his own thing, but no, WWE's got to stick him into a three-man fucking group. What is with them in the three-man groups? First of all, first, Vince McMahon is against doing stables. He doesn't like having groups. He doesn't like having factions. But now, every week, we're having a new fucking faction of 3 men being born, and they're just getting worse and worse and worse. If you thought Braun and McIntyre and Ziggler was a mess, you haven't seen nothing yet. This is the most nonsensical trio ever put together since 3MB. And what is the common denominator between 3MB and Bobby Lashley and Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre? If your answer was C, Drew McIntyre, your answer would be correct. This is going to be the second faction that the WWE is putting him in, if you want to exclude the Braun and Dolph Ziggler Dogs of War nonsense that has just done nothing but make him look terrible. The first time you had him paired with a garbage Heath Slater and an even more garbage Jinder Mahal, and now you have him standing side by side with the all-milk dud Bobby Lashley, the almighty. Almighty what? More like the insignificant Bobby Lashley. Boring Trashly, as I called him first, before anybody else decided to start even using the Trashly thing anywhere in the world. I didn't call him Bobby Trashly, we called him Boring Trashly. You guys that have been watching this show, you know that to be a fact. It doesn't matter whether Elias wants to say it on national TV. I'm not delusional. I don't think Elias is sitting at home watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show saying, oh, you know what? I'm going to use that Boring Bobby Trashly. His guy's last name is Lashley. When you look at him, what do you think of? Trash. Trash rhymes with lash. That is Trashly. It's not that hard to come up with. But when you hear words that you used on your show on Monday Night Raw, you can't help but maybe kind of hope that maybe they were listening and maybe he did steal it from me. And if he did, good for him. Good for him. You pointed out the obvious. Fantastic. This is something we've known on this channel for months now. Anybody with eyes that work can tell you that Bobby Lashley is garbage. Garbage. And now he is going to bring down Drew McIntyre in the same way Baron Corbin, Constable Dickhead himself, is going to bring down Drew McIntyre in this ridiculous three-man teaming. Add on the yippee-yap little hype man Leo Rush. Look at everybody's ass. Drew McIntyre, bend over, show them your ass. Bobby Lashley, show your ass. Everybody show your ass. You know what, if they did that, maybe I would have been entertained tonight. But that's not what they did on Monday Night Raw. They want to stand around posing. You got Drew McIntyre, the only guy that means a fucking thing, the only guy that has a lick of potential, the only guy that I even give two fucks about in the ring, standing in the ring during the whole opening segment with a microphone in hand, didn't say a fucking word. Didn't say a fucking word, but we got to hear Bobby Lashley talking, and if Bobby Lashley's talking on his own, why does he have this flea Leo Rush by his side? Free the flea Leo Rush and let him go back to 205 Live where he could do what he's good at, which is wrestling, but you guys wouldn't know that because they want to use him as an annoying fucking hype man. This show was the worst I have seen it in a long time. Elias wants to come out, he wants to have fun, he wants to sing songs, and then he ends up getting himself in a match with Bobby Lashley. Where have we seen this 10,000 times before? Oh, that's right here on Monday Night fucking Garbage Raw. So then we gotta watch this match again, only for it to transpire into what we seen at the beginning of last week's show. The only thing we could be thankful for is that it didn't take a fucking hour to wrap up the opening segment this week, and they wrapped this one up in 20 minutes. But essentially, they did the same thing to Elias that they did to Braun Strowman. That's fucking laziness. That's cut, clear laziness. Taking the exact same segment from last week and executing it in almost the exact same fashion on the exact following week means you're copying. It means you don't know what the fuck else to do. What, is Braun Strowman's bone spurs really throw you guys for more of a loop than losing Roman Reigns, that you have nothing else to do but take last week's script, shake it up a bit, change this name to that name, and call it a day? It's inexcusable. It's unforgivable. And what I really don't understand, and please don't anybody take this personally, but when you guys go to these shows, why aren't you leaving? Like, I understand you paid money to be there, which I don't understand why you'd even do that at this point. Why anybody would even pay 1 fucking cent to go sit in the crowd for 3 hours and watch a show of this caliber that gave you absolutely nothing is beyond me. But if you did that and you paid your hard-earned money to sit there and be bored to fucking tears for 3.5 to nearly 4 hours, why aren't you leaving? Just fucking leave. This was the quietest show I think I've ever heard a crowd ever be. You could hear the crickets listening for crickets. It was tremendously bad. The crowd didn't know what to do tonight because all they were given was trash. And not just in the form of the human milk dud, Bobby Lashley. Everything on tonight's show was an complete waste of your time. It was a waste of my life watching this show tonight, and I can't see it getting any better. Where do you see any light at the end of these tunnels? I see nothing but the fucking open end of Bobby Lashley's ass. That's what I'm headed towards every single time I turn on Monday Night Raw. The fact that this show began and ended with Corbin and Lashley and McIntyre standing in the middle of the ring like they mean anything shows you we're headed in the wrong direction. Baron Corbin, the general manager elect, The only thing I elect to do when I see Baron Corbin is change the fucking channel. I would have much rather watch literally anything else. Put that fucking Real Country show on. I would have rather watched that. I don't even like country music. I'd rather watch Chris fucking Chrisley than Baron Corbin. You talk about an epic failure. You look at the potential this kid had after he came up from NXT. They shot him right to the moon, gave him the money in the bank. His head swelled up a little bit too big, and then the WWE decided, well, you're not big enough. We're going to make you lose your money in the bank, cash in, and then we are going to make you be absolutely nothing. We are going to reduce your role till you are nothing more than a general manager. And now you want people to have legitimate heat and get behind Baron Corbin as a bad guy, when at this point, all anybody wants him to do is go away. I can't believe that there's actually a worse general manager than Mike fucking Adamle. This guy is worse than John Laurinaitis. I'd rather be listening to his camel-smoked fucking throat. People power. I'll take that back in a minute over having to see Baron Corbin's bald fucking constable dickhead ever again. Inexcusable. Unforgivable garbage. That's what Monday Night Raw was. Let's try to get through this card before I just absolutely explode with all my anecdotes and my funniness. And I know you guys enjoy when I get a little bit off the handle here, but we got a fucking ridiculous show to get through because I need to blame everybody. Everybody is at fault. Like I said in the opening song, it's not just Bobby Lashley that sucks. It's Baron Corbin. It's Elias. It's Drew McIntyre. It's all of them. Because everybody's just being handed this garbage and nobody is questioning anything. Nobody is going to the boss and saying, hey, you know what? This is what we did last week. Why don't we change it up a little bit? You know what? Maybe I don't want to go this way with my character. How many times are we going to turn somebody heel or face in the last couple of weeks? There's nothing impactful happening tonight. Let's try to shake things up a bit. No, nobody's got the real fucking balls you need to be in this business back there. Everybody's walking around on eggshells, tiptoeing around the 70-year-old titan that doesn't want to fucking budge. But this is the same guy that used to get talked into things by some of the greats in the business, who would not have been greats in the business had they went the way Vince McMahon wanted them to go. Guys like Steve Austin, who was set to be the ringmaster if Vince McMahon had his way. You all remember how Steve Austin was debuted in the company. That was Vince's vision for him. Until Stone Cold came back at him and said, nah, you know what, I'm this guy. And then the rest is history. And how many times we know now throughout Austin versus McMahon were they behind the scenes going head to head. When Stone Cold walked away because he didn't want to have a match with Brock Lesnar unadvertised on Monday Night Raw and dropped the title to a rookie fucking kid when he was the biggest man in the industry. But Vince didn't see fit to even listen to him. The man walked away and everybody shit all over Steve Austin. Who was right? Steve Austin was right. Guys like Shawn and Triple H that used to push the envelope to make D-Generation X be what we all know and love it to be, not the shadow of what it has become now. You don't get these things without pushing against the grain a little bit. Everybody's afraid to go against them. Everybody's afraid to speak up. We're not. That's why we're here, and that's why we bring the hammer down on the fucking WWE, especially on Monday nights after Monday Night Raw. You want to give me all this fucking garbage. You want to have the Revival go out there again and in under 5 minutes lose to the Lucha House Party again. What did the Revival do? Whose cornflakes did they piss in? Who did they piss off backstage? What is it? Is it Scott Dawson's fucking mustache? Does Vince not like the mustache? Is he not like Dash Wilder's fucking look? Does he not like the fact that these guys got hurt as soon as they came up? Maybe they had all different plans, and the guy got his jaw jacked, needed his jaw all wired shut, and now they're still being punished for an unfortunate injury? Why isn't Nia Jax being punished to the level that we're seeing the Revival be punished? That's a whole nother fucking ball of wax we gotta open up here. Fucking Nia Jax coming out there with the world's worst promo, written by the world's worst writer, who thinks they're funny and is not, trying to be witty and insightful with Nia Jax. Every time the girl wanted to smile, I swear to God, I wanted to bash my head right into my television screen. It's the most phony bullshit smile I've ever seen. Maybe it's my own fault for being stupid enough to watch shows like Total Divas, where you get to see these people outside of the wrestling bubble, and she's absolutely been tainted to me by her, how she comes off on that show, which I know is not 100% real, but the girl is weird in real life. And now she happened to get lucky because she fucked up at her job. She fucked up at her job, hurt somebody else, and is being rewarded for this. You got people that used to vilify Seth Rollins for what he did to Finn Balor. What Seth Rollins did to Sting. What Sasha Banks did to Paige. What this one did to that one. But it's all okay now because it was Nia Jax. Why? Because she's The Rock's cousin? Why is it okay? Because she's a big girl and we can't point out flaws of the overweight people? I'm overweight. I can say whatever the fuck I want about Nia Jax. And the main point is, there's nothing about her body or anything today. The girl is trash. She is garbage in the ring. She hurt somebody. Legitimately fucked up Becky Lynch's face. This was not planned. This was not supposed to happen. They should have had very little interaction with each other. As it is, the program was Becky versus Ronda. Nia Jax going off half-cocked and now being rewarded for something that others that would be normally punished for is wrong to me. The WWE going to do what business needs to do and is going to generate heat. It's not heat. People are legitimately mad at her as a person for being lousy at her job. They're not just mad at her for hurting Becky Lynch. They're mad at her because she sucks. These words that I'm saying to you about Nia Jax actually are very painful for me. Because when I first seen her, I seen such potential. And I thought maybe the WWE were going to have their own homegrown female monster. I said, building a monster, that's something that Vince can do, right? Even if it's with a female. The road has been laid by talents like Awesome Kong and Bull Nakano and many names of the past. But they didn't go that route. They went the celebrity route. They went the divas route. With the big girl, who shouldn't be a diva. A, because the divas division is dead, and B, because she does not fit what Vince McMahon's mold of a diva is. She's gone on to become the most hated woman in wrestling. And they're going to try to use this to their advantage. Then you have Ronda Rousey come out there looking like a walking zombie. Once again, no disrespect to Ronda Rousey, but whoever you got doing your glam, why don't you punch them right in the fucking mouth, Ronda? Go to this girl, I'm sure she's got some weird fucking half-buzzed hairdo and her makeup all over her face like fucking Bozo the Clown, looking like some 1980s reject fucking poster that you used to have on your wall for the Breakfast Club. And she's doing fucking hair and makeup in the back, and she puts two fucking disgusting red blotches right here, and then for some reason, the girl's skin was like a greenish yellow all around. She looked like she had jaundice all over her body, and these real fucking zombie eyes. She looked like she was infected with the T-virus, and she walked out on national TV looking this way. She didn't pass a mirror and go, hey, maybe you want to finish these lines? She didn't say to anybody, you know what, I understand that I got the Roddy Piper thing going on. Can we keep the red and yellow off my fucking face? Does she not have a say in the matter? What happened to just black eyeliner? What happened to simple fucking makeup? What is all this fucking nouveau art styling that they only seem to choose to do on Ronda fucking Rousey? It's bad enough her hair's going in fucking zigzags and cornrows and this ways and that ways, making her look even worse. But the makeup game was awful. Told you guys last week, Ronda Rousey came out without a stitch of makeup on her. She looked absolutely beautiful. She looked perfect. Why don't you go with that? Au natural. That is that girl's way to go. The zombie look, definitely got to get away from making her look like a walking fucking dead cast member. And not one of the survivors, in case you don't understand what I'm saying. Fucking awful. Only for her to go out there in her zombie garb and read off whatever she remembered from this fucking thing that they wrote for her as a response to Nia Jax. I wasn't listening because I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a shit. And neither did the crowd. The crowd in Wisconsin was so asleep they forgot to chant for Becky Lynch. Awful. Absolutely horrible. They played a video for Lars Sullivan. Nobody knows where he's going. Michael Cole wants to say, oh, he's the most sought-after free agent in all of it. Why? Why you guys don't watch NXT? What the fuck do you know about Lars Sullivan? You know what I know about Lars Sullivan? He's going to go up to the main roster, and he's going to be the next Rusev. He's going to be hot for about a month or two. He's going to start selling merch. He's going to get over on his own, and then Vince is going to push him right the fuck down. Because he didn't do it his way. Just like they did to Braun Strowman. That's the future for Lars Sullivan. The Authors of Pain defeated Chad Gable and Bobby Roode in a tag team championship match, which didn't seem to be about the tag team championship match. Drake Maverick wanted revenge for having pissed his own pants last week on Monday Night Raw, stole Bobby Roode's robe, and runs off into the back. And then once again, they play on the Titantron while Drake Maverick is in the bathroom. And in the middle of this tag team championship match on Monday Night Raw, we're watching Drake Maverick take a piss on a robe in what I can assume was the men's room. I will repeat that. We're watching Drake Maverick taking a piss on a robe in what I can assume was the men's room during a World Tag Team Championship title match on Monday Night Raw. It's one thing to make me watch commercials. It's another thing to make me watch a hobbit fucking relieving himself on a robe that belongs to somebody else. Now, if I'm Bobby Roode and I'm in the ring, I'm in a tag team championship match. Am I going to give two shits about what this little guy is doing with a fucking robe that I have hundreds of other robes at home? If not hundreds, maybe I got at least one more. It's not like that blue robe is his only robe. We've seen the red robe, the white robe. He's got plenty of robes. Was this blue robe special? Was it given to him by Ric Flair? What is the significance of this fucking blue? Is it the one he wore with Charlotte when he was on the Mixed Match Challenge? First he was on it, then he wasn't, and now he was, then he wasn't. Is there something significant about this blue robe? I don't fucking think so. So wouldn't it be safe to assume that if you want to apply logic, one of the former NXT World Heavyweight Champions, a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, a multiple time tag team champion of the world everywhere this man has been, wouldn't it stand to reason that he would be smart enough to know, hey, when I beat these big gorillas for the tag team championships of Monday Night Raw, I could buy myself 100 fucking new robes because I'm going to be the champion and I'm going to be making money now. No, he gives a shit about this one fucking blue robe. He gives so much about this fucking robe that he's going to turn his back to two of the most lethal forces to have ever stepped foot in the ring coming from NXT, and he's going to just watch the screen. He's going to watch Drake Maverick take the entire piss. The entire 2-minute long relieving of Drake Maverick, and he watched it. It's as if He forgot he was in a tag team championship fucking match. Unforgivable. Makes him look terrible. Rude and Gable, the glorious Gables, go down in defeat once again to the Authors of Pain, thanks to Drake Maverick and his never-ending pee joke. And where's it gonna go? Who gives a shit at this point? We've been waiting so long for Bobby Roode to turn on Chad Gable that at this point I think they'll probably turn Gable on Roode. Just to fuck with us. Because they don't give a shit about what we want. Finn Balor does a selfie promo talking about how he's not going to stand in line or fall behind Baron Corbin, blah, blah, blah. Now we have a main event match for tonight. This is the main event for Monday Night Raw. Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor from about 6 months ago or whenever the hell they started that shit. Initially, when he came for Monday Night Raw, did you give a shit about it then? No. Do you give a shit about it now? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Ember Moon with Kurt Hawkins. We talked briefly before. I mentioned that the Mixed Match Challenge is even more of a mess than Monday Night Raw. Actually, Raw might be in even worse shape than the Mixed Match Challenge. I mean, I don't watch it anymore, and I'm glad I don't because every week the contestants are changing. It's as if the show is cursed. And Ember Moon went from having Braun fucking Strowman as her partner to Kurt Hawkins. That's a great replacement. Wonderful step up. We have Ember Moon versus Alicia Fox. I told you about this and how it fucking pissed me off. 2 minutes long. 2 minutes long. The ugliest clips I've ever seen taken in my life. The girl, Alicia Fox, can't take a hit. She cannot execute a spot for her life. Get her the fuck out of the ring. Send her home with a nice severance package. Tell her you did a great job for the last 10 plus, honey. We don't need you anymore. We got to make room for some actually talented females. Some girls that actually like and want to be professional wrestlers. Don't just want to be in front of the camera acting like a ham and egger. Fucking terrible. And then after this, we get treated to the conga morons. What? What? We almost forgot about the conga morons. How long has it been, you guys, since we did a little conga moron on this show, huh? That's how fucking long it's been since No Way Jose's been on Monday Night Raw. Why is he back on Monday Night Raw? With no story behind it, no hype behind it, nobody gave a shit, still coming out with all the fucking retards by his side, all dancing around like a bunch of idiots, each and every one of them a future prospect in the WWE. You couldn't pay me enough to be one of No Way Jose's conga fucking morons. No thank you, bro. You can keep that shit to yourself. So he can have a match with Shitty. Shitty. Everybody take a deep breath. Feel your inner peace and say Shitty. Seriously? No Way Jose versus Jinder Mahal. 5-minute match. Jinder Mahal wins. Great reason to bring No Way Jose back. Instead of the opposite, which is what I thought, maybe they would give the win to Jose, pick up his momentum, maybe try to make him into maybe even a lower mid-carder. No, he's just going to be another NXT jobber, courtesy of Triple H. Thanks, son. Fucking shit. Terrible. Then we had Seth Rollins come out and issue his open challenge, which we talked about being answered by Dolph Ziggler. 21 minutes, Seth Rollins defeats Dolph Ziggler. It got interesting towards the end, but for the most part, this match was nothing you haven't already seen. The one thing I did like is to finally see Seth Rollins get a win with his superplex Falcon Arrow combination and not always having to hit the stomp for the win. That was pretty interesting. Dean Ambrose. I skipped over this, probably because in the back of my mind I wanted to. Dean Ambrose talked earlier about how he can't stand the stench of the fans, and he's in some private fucking doctor's office. He's not there in Milwaukee because Milwaukee is a cesspool and this and that. And then as he's talking to us, he's going to drop his fucking pants and take a needle right in his ass, getting vaccinated for all kinds of phony fucking bullshit. Who cares? Who cares? You think his persona is that interesting that you needed to fully explain this guy legitimately went and got vaccinated live on camera because he's so disgusted by the current WWE fan. Awful. You know what I was thinking of when I was watching this? It made me think of Vince McMahon being in the ER pulling Jim Ross's head out of his own ass. Remember that segment? Hopefully we don't remember this segment. Nothing memorable about it. Dean Ambrose is just very blah to me. They did it in such an unceremonious way. It was very underwhelming. We all were expecting it and anticipating it so much. And then when they actually did it, it was just like, yeah, okay, it's here, great. And now having Dean Ambrose still connected to Seth Rollins, even as adversaries, it's just boring. It's yesterday's news. I would rather him turn heel and move away. Move away from Seth Rollins. Just be like, you know what? I hate you. I'm a lunatic fringe. I'm going back to SmackDown Live. Something. Or send Seth Rollins to SmackDown Live. Do something different. Break them apart because I don't want to see them even looking at each other in 2019. But we know that doesn't fucking matter what I want. If it mattered what I want, this show would have been completely different. Then we had this fucking open forum. Alexa Bliss comes out. She introduces the Boss and Connection to come out, right? And they literally say nothing. Now, when this first started, I assumed that maybe this was going to be some sort of a lead-in to the women's tag team titles that are supposedly on the horizon somewhere in the near future, which might have in fact been the original reason for the planning of this whole open forum segment. But in the end, we did not get any sort of an announcement. We got nothing special. All we got was Sasha and Bayley telling Alexa Bliss to either go back to SmackDown Live or go to hell. And that was it. If you, as a viewer of mine, really know the purpose of that segment and you know what it meant, if there's some sort of a Illuminati backstage secret that somebody doesn't know, maybe this segment needed to happen in order to open up the gates of professional wrestling knowledge and maybe we'll finally have some sense and logic in the shows. I doubt it. But what was the reason for this? Just to get Alexa Bliss and her new little fake titties on TV? You got Ember Moon fighting Alicia fucking Fox, but you got Sasha and Bayley in the ring talking about nothing. This is Monday Night Raw, people. Then we go off the air with the final match of the night. Finn Balor versus Constable Dickhead Baron Corbin. Nobody gave a shit about this match. Finn Balor had the Constable completely exhausted by the end of this thing. Exhausted so much that he didn't want to fight anymore. He makes the match on his own whim because he's the general manager elect. He decides to make it now a 2-on-1 handicap match. Calls out his partner Drew McIntyre. Next thing you know, Finn Balor's got his teeth being kicked down his throat by a claymore that missed by about 1.5 miles. And that was your end of Monday Night Raw. The human milk dud, boring trashly Bobby Lashley, playing the part of Dolph Ziggler. Baron Corbin as the new Braun Strowman. And Drew McIntyre, your new dogs of war. A milk dud, a dickhead, and a McIntyre. MDM. There you go, instead of 3MB. Milk dud, dickhead, McIntyre. There's the name of this new faction. And that's the best I got. That's all we can really say. What else can really be said about this fucking trash heap of a show? This show was abysmal, you guys. I can't think of the appropriate word to truly describe my feelings about this show to you guys. Please feel free to express your displeasure in tonight's show in that comment section down below. If I missed anything that you want to know my thoughts and reactions on, please feel free to let me know by shooting it out in that comment section down below. Always one of my favorite things to do throughout the day is get my feedback from my Sledgeheads. 1,020 strong, and the count keeps rising. Make sure you guys continue to smash down that subscribe button. If bringing down the hammer on professional wrestling was something you enjoyed here tonight, this is your new home for all of your professional wrestling reviews right here at the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you enjoyed today's show. Let me know that you had a good time here today on the broadcast and that you'll be coming back for more by hitting that thumbs up right now. Then share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they know how much Monday Night Raw fucking sucked tonight and need a place to go to vent their frustrations. We are always accepting new individuals in the Sledgehammer Club, so please feel free to send each and every one of them this way and make sure they subscribe to become one of the 1,000 strong that know that Sledgehammer TV is the place to be, following every major professional wrestling event. Also be following me on Twitter, you guys. At Nick Nightmare is the handle. We got Facebook.com, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, the official Facebook page. We are also on Instagram. We're on the Insta. We're there. We're not that active yet, but we're there. And I suggest you guys get there and follow us as well, because the near future is going to be littered with some pretty good stuff, and it's going to be going up on the Instagram account. So that's at Nick_Nightmare. The exact same way you see it spelled here, just put the little underscore in between the C and the N, and there you will find me on Instagram. Make sure to add me there. And my friends, it is that time of the show where I have to do some bill paying. This show is sponsored in part by Audible. Audible has over 180,000 books that just might speak to you, and for being a fan of Sledgehammer TV, they are offering you guys one free audiobook and 30-day free trial. All you got to do is go to audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv right now to sign up. If you already are a member of Audible, perhaps you've taken advantage of this from one of your other shows that you enjoy, or you found this promotion somewhere else. That's good, man. That's great. You can still support this show. Give this link to everybody you know that might want to take part in joining in this service. Give it away. Let everybody know it is absolutely free. You just got to sign up. You can cancel at any time and keep that free audio book. Another way you could support the show, as tonight is Cyber Monday, the 1,000 subscriber celebration. Black Friday sale is extending all the way until November 30th, until 11:30 p.m. on November 30th. This great deal is available to you guys. 10% off all Sledgehammer TV merchandise. Just go in your web browser and enter teespring.com/store/sledgehammer-tv right now and go get in on the savings and get your colors for your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Thank you guys all so very much for being with me as we continue to rise to the top to become the absolute best wrestling show anywhere in the world. And I have all of you guys to thank for that. Without you guys, I am nothing, but I am Nick Nightmare. And this is my team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the wrestling god of thunder and the official sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Snowball. And of course, you guys, my brothers and sisters in the Sledgehammer Club. We are all one big happy family, and I can't wait to talk to you guys again for tomorrow night's SmackDown Live, which, by God, has got to be better than tonight's absolute lobotomy of a show, which was Monday Night Raw. That, my friends, is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you tomorrow night for SmackDown Live right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV. This fucking show sucked. Out.